I was recently asked uh, by somebody if I could do a series on dreams. I teach a whole class on dreams, and they were asking if they could just do a quick introductory series on some of the stuff we cover in the dream classes that I do. And so, what we want to do, the first question is, what are dreams? So, we look at dreams. A dream is an archetype. An archetype is simply a symbol or something in a dream that represents something. As we see here, an archetype is a universally understood symbol, term, or pattern of behavior, a prototype upon which others are copied, patterned, or emulated. When Carl Jung developed his archetypes, he spent a lot of time investigating the tarot, which is a deck of cards that each card has a specific meaning. And if you study the tarot, it's pretty interesting because if you just read a book on the tarot and what the cards mean, each suit and each card represents a period in someone's life, and the four suits in the tarot represent a journey of someone's life from start to beginning, from start to end. And even if you don't believe in the tarot, it's pretty interesting the understanding that you can gain just by reading it on things that may happen to you in your life and understanding how they represent each other. So an archetype, the dream is simply filled with symbols, and it's derived from a combination of your subconscious and your higher self. When we enter into this reality, we go through what's called a veiling process. And if you don't believe any of this stuff, then I suggest that you just skip the video, move on to something else. But when we incarnate here, we go through a forgetting process, and we enter this reality, and it's to learn a bunch of lessons. And I believe that we determine what these lessons are before we're born, and we set up a bunch of things in our lives and say, these are the lessons I need to learn in this life. Some of them are very easy, some of them are pretty tough, but they're simply lessons, and they're simply experiences that we want to experience in this life. Now, the dream is kind of a loophole in the fabric of the reality, where when we dream, this veil that's been put over us, which is kind of a veil of forgetting, and we don't uh, know what our higher self is and what our spirit and what the spiritual realm has to offer us. It's a way for the spirits to come through while we sleep and give us information in this universal language of symbols. I don't always understand the symbols. The symbols don't mean a lot to me sometimes, and I really look at it as like, I don't know what that means. But if you meditate on it and you ask for guidance on the symbols, you'll start to understand them more and more. And then they start to make more sense as you start to understand them more and more. So the dream represents some issue in your life. Sometimes it's a recall of a parallel lives in other dimensions. Again, if you don't believe in that, just skip over that part. In more advanced dreaming, they can be prophetic, but most of the time they're just information about us that we need to learn about ourselves. They all come to teach us something and to give us new information about how we can deal with issues in our life. And sometimes we have something called a dream within a dream, where we actually think we're dreaming, and then we wake up and then in the dream, and we start to say, "Oh, I had this dream," and then we're still in a dream. I've had that a few times. It's pretty interesting when that happens because you don't necessarily realize it at the time when it's happening. So stay tuned. We're going to do a bunch more in this series. We're going to talk about Native American Indians. We're going to talk about some universal symbols and what they mean. And there's a lot of material we're going to cover. If you have any questions that pop up along the way, please send them to me. And please share this video with anyone else that you think may be interested in dreams. And please like videos. It helps with getting the message out there so other people can see it.